Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're heading into the skies, exploring the origin story of Skystrike, the winged sentinel.
Yeah, and our main source for this is a really cool piece called Skystrike, an aerial knight's origin.
So Skystrike, the first thing you notice, or at least I did from the source, is the look, right? This knight in,
Yeah.
like, bird-themed armor.
Oh, absolutely. That avian armor and the weapon. You can't miss it. A massive lance that looks exactly like a giant leek.
Yeah, leek.
And the source is super clear. It's directly inspired by Galarian Farfetch. No ambiguity there.
It's memorable, that's for sure. And it ties into his whole power theme, which the source lays out as sky-based precision.
Right, honor-bound duels.
And these unstoppable lance strikes. So our mission here is to unpack his origin story, the 4 chapters the source gives us, to see how he went from, well, a fallen duelist
A pretty public fall, yeah.
to this legendary guardian figure.
Okay, let's jump into chapter 1 then. The Duelist's Fall. The source sets this up in a hidden monastery way up high, floating above mountains.
A sky monastery.
Yeah.
And this young guy, Ren, he's training there.
Exactly. Training in sky lancing, this ancient sacred art, supposedly passed down from ancient bird guardians. Really evocative stuff.
But things go south for him. There's this crucial trial, right?
Yeah.
To earn his lance.
Yeah, and he loses the duel. But it's not just that he lost. The source highlights it happened during this wild, chaotic storm.
Okay, so challenging conditions.
Very. But the key thing, and the source really stresses this, isn't just the defeat. He gets banished because he failed to follow their strict code of honor during that duel.
So it wasn't just losing face, it was breaking the rules. How he lost.
Precisely. Violating the code, that's what leads to the banishment, this huge loss of status, identity, everything.
Wow, okay, that sets up some serious stakes. Cast out, honor gone. Which brings us to Chapter 2, Wings of Redemption. What happens then?
Well, he's wandering, definitely hit rock bottom, and then fate, or maybe something more, steps in. He runs into this ancient avian spirit.
An actual spirit.
Yeah, the source says it sensed a spark of potential, maybe. Hidden in his pride, despite the fall, saw a chance for redemption.
And this is where the lance comes in. The Sky Leek Lance.
Bingo. He receives the signature weapon. The source describes it as crafted from enchanted wood, but also hardened will. I like that touch.
Me too. Hardened will. And the armor.
That's when he gets the armor too, yeah. Made of feather-forged steel. Another great detail. And this is where Ren becomes Skystrike. He takes the name, vows to get his honor back.
Right, so he's re-equipped, renamed, repurposed, ready for Chapter 3, Clash Above the Clouds.
And he starts making waves, you know. The source says he's taking down sky pirates.
Protecting those floating air villages you hear about, the ones on storm currents.
Those exact ones. His aerial combat skills, the precision strikes, the wind jumps that quickly make him, well, legendary among the sky folk.
But legends always attract bigger challenges, right?
Always. And right on cue, the source introduces the Windbane Clan. And these guys aren't your average sky pirates. They use forbidden tech.
Forbidden tech. Okay, that ups the ante considerably. A real test.
Definitely sets up a bigger conflict, leading straight into the final act, Chapter 4, Lance of Destiny.
The climax.
Yeah.
Where does this showdown happen?
It all goes down above a crumbling sky fortress, epic setting. Skystrike versus the Windbane leader, one-on-one, mid-air lance duel.
Mid-gear duel. Classic.
And the source paints this picture, you know. Skystrike's attacks become flawless, super swift, and this is important, guided by the winds of justice.
Justice, not just skill or the old code. Interesting.
Lightning crashing, the whole deal. And Skystrike breaks through, wins the fight, defeats the Windbane.
And becomes the guardian of the skies. His redemption arc is complete.
Yeah, looking back at the whole journey in Skystrike, an aerial knight's origin, you see the full circle. Chapter 1, the fall, breaking the code.
Chapter 2, the second chance, the spirit, the new gear, the transformation.
Chapter 3, becoming a legend, protecting people, but then facing the new tech-savvy threat, the Windbane Clan.
And Chapter 4, that final climactic duel, proving himself not just as a duelist, but as a guardian, guided by justice.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about failure, getting a second chance, what honor even means. How do you truly get it back after falling so far, especially when you broke the rules that defined it in the first place?
And that brings up a really interesting point, straight from the source material. Remember, he was banished for failing the code of honor in that first duel.
Right, that was the whole reason.
But his ultimate victory, the one that makes him the guardian, the source specifically says it was guided by the winds of justice, not the code. So it leaves you wondering, Does real justice always fit neatly inside a strict code? Or sometimes does achieving justice mean you have to step outside those lines? Something to maybe ponder on after this deep dive.